Okay. Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome, guys. Let's get something over. I want to just present to you a big picture of what I'm looking at. At least it would guide, put us on the same page. Let's not forget that generally we are in this bias territory. This being the originator, the guy who started the bullish swing. However, we're in this minor seller's territory inside of this buyer's territory. Okay. Um, for those of you who are advanced, you would understand. But if you don't, I will break it down to the simplest form. Okay. Yeah. This is why price dropped, dipped. Watch this. Gauge the momentum, the sellers versus the buyers. So what you're noticing right now is price trying to retest possibly this low on the 4 hours time frame. So this is like a bigger picture of what we'll be looking at. However, having this on your mind, let's drop down to the 1 hour and see what the market is presenting to us this morning. Based on the 1 hour here, although we are in this, watch this. This is the major buyer's territory. This was the seller's territory inside of this major buys. We're in this minor buyer's territory, just like it just what occurred here is what is repeating here. We're in this buyer's territory, yet inside of this buyer's territory, we're in this minor seller's territory. So buys, sweet buys could occur here, but if you take these buys, you're buying into supply zone. That's why I showed you from the 4 hours. If you take these buys, you're buying into this supply zone. So anything could occur around this zone. So it's safer to, if you want to take the buys, unless you're taking it during time of volume. So you're anticipating volume to push price to breach this particular supply zone, fill their orders, and do what? Violate whatever strength they have. On the other hand, this makes a new low, breaching this, retraces, retests the low, sort of, even if it's using a wick. However, fails to breach this, as in, as you can see, this particular zone here. However, fails to breach and close confidently outside of it. We could say, okay, price rallies, we'll be anticipating more buys above here. Okay, so look at here this picture. What I would want to do is I would prefer to take sales below here. As you can see, this particular level, price level, 164.719. I prefer to take sales below here, which will be in confirmation with, if you go to a weekly time frame, you see, which is in confirmation with a weekly time frame, which is here. I want to take sales below this bullish candle, the break of the low of the bullish candle. So that means this bearish, this current candle would drop bearish. Immediately it breaks this low. We're anticipating clean traffic dipping further. Okay, so that is for, so whenever I give you something like this forecast, just know that it's playing in the direction of the overall bias. Okay, it's playing direction of the overall bias. So technically, what I'm looking at is safe sales would occur below here, which I know is going to drop hard like Thor's hammer. Then buys is going to be, if this makes a new low, if this particular current price action makes a new low, buys could occur above this supply. If it does not make a new low, it just dips, then retraces. Sweet buys could occur above this supply. So we see why it's very important to be fluid in the market. So in general, what I'm trying to say is this. If this fails to make a new low and does this, so safe buys will be above this supply going up, at least taking the 1 arrow first, then leaving the runner to see what is going to perform. This is scenario 1. I'm using with respect to the current price action, but if it makes a new low, retraces, fails to make a new low again, respecting this low created by these demand guys, this buyer's territory, then we'll anticipate what? The buys to come even deeper, which is even good, which will be above this particular 4-hour resistance level. So we're taking the buy. So this will be scenario 1B. This is scenario 1A. Okay. Another thing we'll look at is if this drops further, something like this, makes a new low out of this particular zone, preferably out of this zone, then dips. This is Chabella. So this will be scenario 2. This will be scenario 2. And if you ask me, I'm in favor of scenario 2 because then I have a bigger chunk of meal that I would eat without experiencing any challenge in the nearest future. So that is just what I'm looking at. Then for gold, I think gold has a better price action. If you ask me, gold has a better price action. So what is occurring here is that this gray zone you're seeing is the supply zone on 1 hour. This, as you can see, it is superimposed or it's on top of another gray zone. Okay, superimposing another gray zone, like overlapping another gray zone. So generally, below here is demand, above here is supply, here again is another supply. So what I'm trying to say is that if I used to trade Asian on the break of this structure here, I would have taken my buys. Then another buy could occur here with stop loss here, just as indicated with this buy position. Take your 1 arrow. Okay, if it gives you a new high, good. That means you'll be taking sell if price fails to do what it wants to do and breaks this low. We are anticipating sell to go down. So generally, I'm in favor of sellers because we're in sellers territory. As you can see, this is what we have. Price is doing this. Okay, this is what we have. We're generally in sellers territory. This buys as it's playing out is a counter trend buys against the overall current. Remember what I said the last time? The current of this water is flowing south, and right now price is paddling north. Okay, price is paddling north. So you could take the paddling of the price going north and with volume and expect it to make its way upwards, or you can wait for price to do what? Turn in the direction of the current of the water, which is in favor of sellers to dip further down. So that is for gold. Let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just playing its ping pong, okay? Which is why I always advise my trainees or mentees not to rush taking sells because you know that price is playing ping pong like this, up. Let's just say one, two, three. When I did the last forecast, price was approaching this to make it fall. Now, if you are taking sales here, as you can see, it was indicating that it wanted to drop. Then what happened? Kaboom! It rallied, then was vehemently smacked by the sellers, then dropped down. So it has done its 4, it has done its 5. If you were very observant, you would have known that this 4 would not have played cleanly because watch this. Whenever price comes to this level, see how it quickly rejects, comes here, quickly rejects. When price comes here, look how it rejected. Once price came here, watch how it was sluggishly coming down. This was a clear indication that there was weakness. Immediately it did this fake out. What do you think happened to the next bearish candle? Kaboom. So that's what I'm talking about. So, but for now, I would say sweet sales will fall below this particular support. Buys would occur. Let price give me a clear market direction. So price buy will fall above here. This is our resistance. Will turn support for me to take buys. So this is what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. Sells below here, buys above here. As simple as that. The last but not the least is what I always say. Feel free, for those of you who are watching the video, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification button after you have subscribed, and the last but not the least, well, not really the last, you comment whatever you want me to work on next, since you're not here in the live session. And the last is like. Okay, so don't forget, hit that notification button after you have subscribed. Comment what you want you like me to make next, and what other observations. I believe the sound will be better right now. I believe the sound will be better. And last but not the least, you give me your thumbs up. Okay, I'm going to stop here for now, and open the floor for questions. Yeah, Andrew, I can see you're trying to. Yeah, yeah, you can ask your question now. By the way, I'll stop the recording so I can upload it for the YouTubers. Okay, bye for now. Your one and only Pips Collector.